Hello, welcome back to our class, Personal and Social Awareness, Psych 5. And last week we have reviewed developmental psychology. We have reviewed what was going on in childhood, in adulthood, and also we talked about some topics such as autonomy, such as life scripts. And this week we are going to cover Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 of the textbook. Chapter 4 is about health, physical health, and wellness. And chapter 5 is about managing stress. And first of all, we're going to talk about wellness and physical health in this video. And specifically, we're going to talk about how to be well, what wellness is. And also we talk about some detailed aspects about wellness, such as diet, such as fitness, such as sleep, and other topics. So let's continue. Let's go on. Let's continue our lecture.
So first of all, we may meet this kind of a concept. It's called a wellness. So what is it? When we talk about wellness, what is wellness? So based on the definitions and explanations from the textbook, wellness is something about your choice. It's a lifestyle choice. It's a choice of how you live, how you have your life, how you live your life. So it's a lifestyle choice. And also this kind of a choice is very purposeful. In my understanding, it means like, what is a purposeful choice? It probably means that you deliberately, you intentionally do something or make this choice. You do something deliberately or purposefully or intentionally to have this kind of lifestyle. So wellness reflects your subjective effort or reflects your proactivity to engage in some kind of activities or lifestyles. So it is about your lifestyle choice. So what kind of a lifestyle choice? So in this kind of a lifestyle, you intentionally or deliberately enhance different kinds of health. So in this kind of a health include physical health, include mental health, include spiritual health. Maybe there are other words that describe this kind of this category, such as psychological health or emotional health. So after all, it is about all kinds of health. So the health in every aspect is the target to be enhanced, to be improved. So wellness is a lifestyle that can help us improve our health, no matter it's physical or mental or psychological or spiritual. And in other words, it's a lifestyle choice or it's a process that help us taking care of our needs. We have the needs as a person, or we have the physical body, we have our mind, we have our spiritual world. So all these parts of ourselves have those needs. So those needs need to be taken care of. So wellness is a concept that describes this kind of a lifestyle that help us improve the different kinds of health and help us taking care of the needs in different aspects, including physical aspect, including the mental aspect, including the spiritual aspect, and so forth. So that is wellness. So when we talk about wellness, we talk about lifestyle. We will talk about what we choose to do for our life, for our health. So that is wellness. So wellness does not only mean being well or just well, something about good or something about being well. It is first of all, it's a choice. It's about a lifestyle choice. And that kind of lifestyle choice reflects our effort to improve our health in different aspects, in every aspect. So that is wellness. So here's a question for you. So when you hear the word wellness, what can you think of? So besides the definitions or explanations we just described and discussed. So when you hear the word wellness, what do you think of? Or what can you recall? You may have some kind of experiences understanding this concept, or you heard somebody talking about wellness or something like that. So what can you recall or what can you think of? So you can pause the video right now and think about this question. So wellness, as we just said, we need to take care of our needs in different aspects. So what aspects can be there? So we just talk about physical, we talk about mental, spiritual. So, but what exactly those aspects? So first of all, physical health, that's really obvious one. So we need to take care of our physical body because we are living in this body. So we need to take care of it. Our physical body is our good body. Yeah, our body is our good body. Yes. Our physical health, and another one is about emotional health. It's about expressions of emotions. So we have the need to express our emotions, but how to express them? What kind of emotions to express? What are the right ways or proper ways to express the emotions? What kind of expressions of emotions are not appropriate? What kind of expressions may harm us? So that's what we need to know of. And the third one is about intellectual growth. It's about your cognitive ability. It is about your growth in solving problems, in knowing stuff, in analyzing problems, in learning new stuff, something like this. It is about intelligence. It is about your cognitive ability. It is about how well you grow your intellectual abilities. And the next one is interpersonal relationships. So we know from last week and 2 weeks ago, and also the Psych1 course, we know that interpersonal relationships are really important for people, really important for their well-being, for their happiness, and for their growth. And there is evidence and studying showing that really important factor of people's happiness is good interpersonal relationships. In other words, for those who are really happy, they have good interpersonal relationships. They can get along with other people very well. So interpersonal relationships are really important for our wellness too. And also we will talk about interpersonal relationships in the future in this class. So yeah, but right now we just mentioned that this aspect is also really important for us, for our well-being and well-being. wellness and well-being. And also there must be a balance between work and leisure time. So we cannot just work all the time every day, but we cannot have leisure, have fun all day, every time, at every moment. We need to have a balance between work and leisure. And also, we need to have meaning. So humans are really interesting species because we need meaning to live. So there is one school, one branch of psychology claiming that our essential need is to find the meaning. Our essential need is to find a reason for why we exist, we live in this world. Otherwise, we will suffer, we will have psychological problems, we will have a feeling that our life is so empty, so meaningless. So the meaning in life is the support of our life. So without meaning, we do not have the support of our life. We cannot it's like a pillars of our life. If the pillars are gone, we cannot just stand there and have a normal life. So having a meaning or making meaning is a really important process and aspect in our life. And maybe there are other aspects of wellness as well. Yeah, so but these are really typical examples of the aspects when we consider wellness. We can improve these aspects when we want to improve our wellness. So the next part, we're going to talk about some specific suggestions and specific aspects that help us improve wellness. So next step, we will talk about sleep, and we will talk about exercise and fitness. And then we will talk about eating, diet and nutrition. And last, we will talk about the spirituality. That is about our psychological wellness and purpose in life. It is about meaning making. So first, let me talk about sleep and rest. So we all sleep every day at night. Most of us need to sleep at night, and we need a few hours of sleep every day to refresh our mind, refresh our body. Instead, we will have some kind of healthy problems. So what is the benefit of sleep? So why we need sleep? So why we sleep every day? So our body needs to be refreshed or regenerated. So because we get tired in the daytime when we are awake, so our body needs rest so that it can be regenerated, can be renewed or something like that. And also sleep helps us to recover from stress. We may meet a lot of stressful events in the daytime, all kinds of stress, like physical stress or psychological stress and mental stress and emotional stress. And those kind of stress will accumulate in our mind and also in our body. So our body will have some kind of biological reactions to those stress. So we will talk about stress next week, but we just know briefly this week that we may have a lot of stress in our mind, in our body. So sleep helps us to remove all those reactions, unhealthy reactions about stress. help us recover our physical body and our mind from stress. So that's one aspect of why we need sleep. And also sleep help us to have energy. So we need to have energy to engage in life. So when we get tired, we lose almost all the energy. So we need sleep to refuel the energy. It's like charging our cell phones or charging our laptops or computers or electric cars. Yeah, so we need some time to recharge ourselves so that we can be energetic the next day. So that's the benefit or function of sleep. So what if there is not enough sleep? What is sleep is deprived or we cannot fall asleep well in the night? So that may bring a lot of problems. So the body cannot be regenerated. We cannot have more energy every day. So specifically, when our body cannot be rejected, when we cannot have more energy, what are the following consequences of them? So first of all, we can lose the temper very easily when we cannot get enough sleep. So we may have the experience that if we get up really so early, too early, after we get up, we are still so sleepy. At that moment, we lose the temper really easily. We get irritated or annoyed really, really easily. So for me, it's a case. If I just sleep for like 4 hours a day, I feel so awful. I just want to lose temper to everyone I meet. Because if we cannot get enough energy without enough sleep, we cannot have a lot of self-control. We cannot control our emotion. We cannot manage our emotions very well. So we can be very, very vulnerable to emotional upset. And also, without enough sleep, our stress cannot be removed. We cannot recover from stress. So we can be really vulnerable to stress. We may have a mental breakdown after having a stressful event. If we have enough sleep, we may feel that we are so energetic, we are so confident to managing any kind of stress that we meet every day. But if we cannot have enough sleep, probably just a small stressful event make us really upset and feel awful. And another negative consequence of sleep deprivation is that our mind cannot work well, including the worst attention, because we cannot have enough attention to focus on something that we want to focus on. And also the worst motor coordination. We cannot control our body really well because our mind doesn't have enough energy and is not regenerated enough. And also slower reaction time. We react slowly because our mind is not working well. And the worst decision making, we cannot make decisions very well. We may make really poor decisions when we are really sleepy. And it turns out another following consequence is that the creativity can be decreased, and also productivity can be decreased because our mind cannot work well and our body cannot work well, and worse attention, poor decision making, longer reaction time. So we cannot be that creative because creativity consumes a lot of energy. It needs a lot of mental activities in our mind. So without enough sleep, we cannot be that creative. We cannot be that productive. And also we can be depressed and anxious when we do not have enough sleep, because we do not have enough self-control. We cannot control our mind. So all these are negative consequences if the sleep is not enough. So ordinarily or regularly, the best duration of sleep, or in other words, how long do we need the sleep? Normally every day, 7 to 8 hours for adults. So for like adults like us, probably you are like college students, like something like 18 or 19 or 20 years old. So we are all adults. We need 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day. Normally 7 hours and 30 minutes, about that duration. So less than 8 hours, but at least 7 hours a day. And for newborns, for infants, from age 0 to 2, they need to have longer sleep time. They need 12 hours of sleep every day. So that's why you may feel like some newborns or infants, they sleep like so long every day. They sleep like almost every day, almost at every moment, every day. So they sleep really long time. And for toddlers and for children who are younger than 12 years old, they need 9 hours of sleep, or 9 or 10. Oh yeah, 9 or 10 hours of sleep for children who are below 12 years old. They need also longer time, longer than adults do. Yeah, so when you have kids, or yeah, if you have children, you need to make sure that they get enough sleep every day. They need to get bed really early, like 9 or 8 p.m. and you'll find that they do not really get up really early. Probably they get to sleep at 8 o'clock, and they get up at 7 a.m. in the morning. So it's really longer, really long duration, but it's normal for them. For adolescents, they probably need more sleep than we do. Probably need like 9 hours or 9 hours, 9 or 10 hours still. But for adults who are older than 18 years old, they only need 8 or 7 or 8 hours a day. And for older adults, they might need less time. They may need like 6 hours of sleep every day. That's normal for older adults. So that's why a lot of older adults get up really, really early, like 5 or 6 a.m. because they just cannot. They just get up. They just awake in the morning, really early, because they need less time to sleep. Yeah, so this is about sleep. And another small thing to mention is that taking a nap during the daytime may not be good for sleep, because taking a nap in the daytime may cause people to sleep less in the night, or cause people to have insomnia when they are trying to go get sleep. Because taking a nap, people only need less than 8 hours a day for sleep, but a nap may take like 1 hour. So in the night, people cannot fall asleep very easily because they are not sleeping. Yeah, so they get sleep so late. As a result, they get up so late. So the whole sleep cycle can be broken or interfere. So do you have any experiences of taking a nap stopping you from falling asleep at night? So I have. If I take a nap like 1 or 2 hours a day in the daytime, I cannot get asleep very easily in the night. And it turns out that I cannot get up really early in the daytime, in the morning. And as a result, I get to sleep at night next day late. And turns out that I sleep and I get to sleep and get up later and later and later. So that's a vicious cycle. And when people cannot get to sleep, or people wake up so frequently during the sleep, or people wake up too early in the morning. So all these symptoms are considered as insomnia. Insomnia is a sleeping disorder. And also that's the most common sleep disorder. There are all kinds of other sleep disorders too, but insomnia is the most common one. A lot of people have insomnia. So oftentimes people, like normal people, have insomnia, have accidentally, like occasionally people have insomnia because of stress, because of some events are so stressful or so disturbing, so that they cannot get to sleep at night well. And sometimes for some people, they're like insomnia patients. These patients just have insomnia no matter what. But for most people, why they get insomnia is because they are stressful in the daytime, or they have some kind of accidents or disturbing events going on in the daytime. So far, do you have any experiences of insomnia? You can think of them, and what are the consequences of insomnia? You can think about this question. So I guess most symptoms or consequences related to insomnia are the consequences of sleep deprivation. So like a worse attention or vulnerability to stress, vulnerability to emotional upset, lower self-control, something like that. And also there can be some physical symptoms like headaches, symptoms like weaker digestion system, and something like that. Yeah. And that's about rest and sleep. Next, we can talk about exercise and fitness. So exercising is also really important aspect in our life to maintain wellness. So our body is built for exercising. Our physical body is built for fitness and doing some kind of activities. If we don't exercise our body, or if we do not involve in active movement, there can be negative consequences. So this can be the consequences of a lifestyle that in which people do not involve in exercise very often. Evidence shows that if we choose a lifestyle that is sedentary, the mortality rate can be 10% increase. So I think that's something that is worthy to notice, that is worthy to remember. If we do not exercise, we are 10% more possible to have a mortality than the people who have a healthy lifestyle, for people who than the people who exercise a lot. And also, people can be vulnerable to a lot of diseases, such as heart disease, such as high blood pressure, such as heightened cholesterol level, something like this. And also, there's risk of diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases. Because if we don't really exercise our body just accumulates the fat. We get obese. We get all these diseases about our blood pressure, blood vessels, or about our hearts. And also, there's risk of depression and anxiety because exercising help us calm down. So actually, exercising help us to regulate emotions, regulate our thoughts. And it sounds strange, but it's the case. Our mind and body are connected. Our mind can influence our body. For example, if we feel really stressful, we have biological reactions to those stress. And in turn, our body influences our mind. If we do not exercise our body very well, we also have the weaker ability to manage our emotions. And on the other hand, exercising very often help us to manage the emotions, help us calm down, help us to remove all the negative emotions from our mind. So I have this kind of example, concrete example from my friend. One of my friends had a really mild depression. So she wasn't diagnosed of a depression disorder, but she guessed that she suffered from some degree of depression. Sometimes she couldn't control her own emotion. She got so depressed. In those situations, she told me that she went out and did running, just run outside for like a half an hour or 1 hour. She will be fine. She will recover from the depression. So I think that's really magical. I also have that kind of feeling too, because if I feel really sad or I feel really anxious, depressed, I go out and exercise or run. It'll recover. It'll calm me down. So that's the real that's reality. And on the other hand, if we exercise regularly or very often, there can be a lot of benefits for exercising. There can be more sleep, because if we get so stressed we cannot sleep well, we get insomnia. Or sometimes if we do not move a lot in the daytime, we just sit there for a very, very long time, do not move a lot, our physical body doesn't get tired. If our physical body doesn't get tired, we cannot really sleep well, because we don't need to sleep. So exercise help us to have more sleep. So more sleep means that our body can be regenerated better. And the nutritional health can be better for having a lot of exercises. and we have more resistance to some infectious diseases. So it means that for people who exercise a lot, they're not really likely to get infected by some kind of a disease like a common cold or flu. And also they can resist to cancers, different kinds of cancers. And also they can resist the heart disease, because exercising is also a practice to train the hearts, train our hearts. So if our hearts are trained well, we have lower risk of having heart disease. And also stronger circulation, blood circulation, and lung function. That makes sense, because when we are exercising, we train our hearts, we train our blood circulations, we train our lungs, because we need to breathe and breathe really intensively. And also help us to manage the emotions, help us to remove the negative emotions. So release the anger, tension, and anxiety. So if we are physically healthy, if we can manage the emotions very well, if we can get more sleep, our body and our mind function well. So those following consequences is that we can have higher level of well-being, and also self-efficacy, or self-confidence, or self-esteem. We feel good about ourselves because our body and mind are functioning well. And also we are more likely to be happier. And the next one, of course, exercising help us to fight against obesity. So stop us have the weight gain. And also a buffer against stress, help us to release stress. And also exercising is one of the sources of enjoyment. A lot of people enjoy exercising. I know somebody who are just like run for 1 hour without stop. And I asked her why you run for such a long time. I couldn't do that. If I run for 1 hour, I'll get so tired. And she told me that she just so engaged and forgot to stop, stop running. So she ran for like 1 hour almost. So she was totally immersed and absorbed in this activity, running. So for her, it's something fun to do. And also I know some people like working out, building up the muscles. They really enjoy it. I do not really enjoy it because my muscles hurt when I finish working out, but they enjoy the process. So I think there is a way to have fun from different kinds of exercises. So personally, I like playing badminton. So I think you know what badminton is. It's not really often seen sports in the United States, but I like that. I like playing badminton. I did not play badminton before a few years ago, but I started to play badminton when my friends played badminton. So we played together and we have fun. We like, you know, we play at least I play with at least one partner, and we talk, we hang out, we have fun. And also it's a way to exercise our body, and also it's a way to show myself that I can do that. I couldn't imagine that I can play badminton well before I started to play it. But when I started playing it, I practiced. I try my best to play it well because I want to win. And so that I play better and better. It's a process of exercising, but it's also a process of having fun and building our self-confidence. So I think that's really interesting. So these are the benefits of fitness. So fitness can help us improve our well-being to a larger degree. And there's one thing we need to notice that is we cannot exercise too much. We cannot over-exercise. Because over-exercising may bring negative consequences to physical and psychological health. So our muscles can be hurt if we exercise too much every day. For example, running. If we run too long time, like more than 1 hour, our muscles can get hurt. Also depends on the habit. So for some people who oftentimes run from their childhood, they just run very long time every day. It's okay for them if they're running for more than 1 hour or 2 hours. So they do marathon. They often do marathon, and it's okay for them. But for some people who do not run very frequently, it's better to run like less than half an hour a day. So running too much is not really good. So that's there are why people actually over exercise. So there are like two types. One type of over exercising is called addicted exercising. It seems like they're addicted to this kind of sport or exercise. They enjoy the activity itself. They enjoy so much. They enjoy so intensively that they cannot stop. They cannot stop playing. For this kind of exercisers, when they stop doing this, if they cannot exercise, they have the withdrawal symptoms. It's just like an addiction to drugs. They're addicted to exercise. So it's not really healthy because if we cannot stop doing something, if we don't do something, we'll have withdrawal symptoms. It's addiction. It's not a healthy engagement in certain activity. And another type, the other type of over-exercising is committed exercising. So they do not enjoy the activity itself, but they enjoy having the consequence of exercising. So they are not enjoying playing the sport or doing some kind of exercise. They just want to get the consequence of exercising, so that they over exercise because they think that they can do it, but they cannot. Their physical bodies do not allow them to have that much exercising, but they do that because they are so committed. They want to realize the goal they set. They do not show any withdrawal symptoms when they cannot exercise, but their self-control is too strong, or they ignore the feelings, the true feelings from the physical body. Because when we get too tired, our physical body will send us the signals. We will know it. But for these kind of exercisers, they ignore these signals and they just want to achieve the goals. So they must achieve the goals, so they over-exercise. So we may extend this to other aspects of our life. Besides exercising, probably doing something else too much is not good enough. for example, sleeping too much is not good enough. If we sleep too much, we cannot get too much energy, so enough energy. So probably, I don't know if you have that kind of a feeling before or not, but having too much sleep may cause people to be weak or to be dozy when they wake up. Besides sleep, too much eating, too much something else. Like if we do something too much, if we do something that excel our limit, our physical limit, so all those situations we will suffer from negative consequences. So this is exercise and fitness. So here's a question I'm curious about. What is your own experience? What is your own exercising habit? And what does it bring to you? So you can think about what kind of habit do you have to exercise? And what kind of benefits do you have from that? You can pause the video right now and think about it. And the next part is about eating or diet and nutrition. So we need to sleep well, we need to exercise well, and also we need to eat well. So there are 3 suggestions to have a healthy eating habit. So first of all, we need to intake all kinds of nutrition. So we cannot only eat one type of nutrition, but we need to intake all kinds of nutrition. So in my knowledge, or based on people's common sense, or based on normal people's sense, there are different kinds of different major types of nutrition. So the first one is protein. Protein made from eggs, from milk, from meat, and also from some kind of vegetables like beans. So beans have a lot of protein as well. So protein is very important because our physical body is made of proteins, including muscles. The muscles are actually the building blocks. So the building blocks of muscles are the proteins, different kinds of proteins. And also our brains need protein. So protein is very important. We need to intake protein every day and every meal even. And the next one is vegetables. So vegetables are really important because it provides a lot of molecules that are needed in our body. And the third kind is so the third type of nutrition is carbohydrates. So carbohydrates mostly from grains, like flour, wheat flour, and rice, and bread, and candies, something like that, and also come from some kind of drinks like Coke. Those carbon drinks. So we need this kind of nutrition every day, every meal. So it's better that for every meal we have all these kinds of nutrition, all this kind of food that contain all this kind of nutrition. So it's better that we need to intake vegetables, we need to intake protein, So there can be eggs can be milk, can be meat, can be seafood, like fish and shrimp. And also there need to be carbohydrates or grains, like bread or pasta, rice, something like that. And there is a tendency that people eat too much carbohydrates or grains, but eat too less vegetables. So that's a tendency we see from a lot of the people. And also in a lot of restaurants, their meals, their food does not provide a very balanced nutrition. So for example, if you go to an Italian restaurant, you order pasta. So in pasta, there is tomato, there is a meat, there is pasta. Oh, that's okay. That's kind of a balanced nutrition. But for some other kind of food, like steak, if you go to a restaurant and order steak, so in this plate, there's only beef, only meat. Probably it provides some kind of a little bit mushroom, but there is not enough carbohydrates or grains or vegetables. So it does not provide enough vegetables. Unless you order a salad or some kind of other vegetables on the side. Otherwise, you cannot have enough vegetables for that meal if you only order steak. And I think the worst case scenario is the food from the fast food restaurant. For example, McDonald's. I don't know if you noticed or not. They merely have vegetables. They only have they have some kind of tomatoes and onions, but they merely have some kind of green vegetables. So actually, green vegetables provide really important molecules that is really essential for your body's normal functioning. But the food from fast food restaurant does not usually provide those green vegetables. At most, they provide tomatoes and onions, a little bit onions and tomatoes. So if you go to a fast food restaurant and order something, you mostly have you have is meat and grains, because the buns are grains and the cheese is source of protein and the meat is also source of protein. There can be a little bit lettuce, just a small piece of lettuce, a small piece of tomato, a small piece of green onion. So that amount of vegetables are far from enough. So you need more than that. You need more vegetables than that. But you already have enough carbohydrates and meat. So that kind of food is not really healthy. And also, when you order food from fast food restaurant in the combo or in the meals, oftentimes it is with a sandwich or a hamburger is with some kind of a drink, like Pepsi or Coke. So those kind of drinks are actually really detrimental to your health because there's too much sugar in it. So sugar is carbohydrate. Actually, a small cup of Coke or Pepsi has half cup of sugar. So there's too much sugar in it. So half cup of sugar is enough for the whole day. That means that if you drink a whole cup of Coke, you do not have to intake other kinds of carbohydrates anymore for the day. But but people usually take other kinds of carbohydrates like bread or pasta or hamburgers or cheeseburgers, something like that. So actually, there's too much sugar in it, so I recommend not drink any kind of Coke or Pepsi or any kind of a drink like that. And also the next suggestion about eating healthy is about eating patterns. It's better to have a regular and consistent eating patterns. That means that having each meal on time. For example, if you regularly have the lunch at 12 p.m., it's better for you to have lunch at 12 p.m. every day, about 12 p.m., maybe 11:30 or maybe 12:30 or maybe 1 p.m. Just to make sure it's consistent every day. And also recommend you to have breakfast every day. So at least just have something, have some kind of milk or cereal for the breakfast. It's really beneficial for the physical health. And the third suggestion is choosing the right shopping time. That's because sometimes when we are hungry, we go shopping, we tend to buy more stuff than we need because we feel hungry. We want to eat everything we meet in the supermarket. So in those cases, we buy too much stuff. So make sure that choosing the right shopping time. Make sure that you are not hungry. You are not so full when you go shopping. So that's about diet and nutrition. And next part, we go to our spiritual life. So for our mental life, there is one of the phenomena called spirituality. So spirituality describes the phenomena in our mind that we have a feeling that we are connected to the universe. It seems like our mind is connected to the bigger universe, to the entire world. There's a connection between us and the universe. I feel like we are part of the universe and we are connected to the universe. And the spirituality is a channel for us to find the meaning and find the purpose in life. Because when we have a feeling that we are connected to the universe, we have the meaning. We are part of the entire world. Our life is important. Our life is meaningful to contributing to a larger part instead of just focusing on ourselves. If we just focus on ourselves solely, we may lose the purpose in life. We may lose the meaning in life. We do not exactly know why we are living in this world. But if we have a feeling that we are connected to the universe, we have a meaning. We may have a meaning. So what is the benefit of spirituality? There can be better physical health. And also there can be the source of calmness and strength. We feel that we're strong, psychologically strong and calm. And also there can be higher level of well-being. And also can be a guide for life choices. We can choose to live a life that is spiritual and also brings the purpose in life. And also help us to achieve the full potential, help us to self-actualize, become the best we can be. So that's the benefits of spirituality. And the spirituality is different from religion. So religion oftentimes refer to a set of practices, that are done by a group of people. So a lot of people in the group follow some kind of religion. They do some kind of practices. They have faith. They have a tradition. They have a habit to involve in some kind of religious practices. And also they recognize a set of supernatural beings. So they have a clear sense that what kind of natural beings they worship. They recognize, oh, these supernatural beings are their own supernatural beings. So this is a religion. So, but spirituality is something about a feeling, internal feeling. It's not attached to a specific practices or traditions or communities. So one person alone can be really spiritual without attending to any community activities. Somebody can be very spiritual without recognizing a specific supernatural being. They just have a feeling that they are connected to the universe. This is a characteristics of spirituality. Okay, so to help you have a better sleep, have a better eating, have a better exercising, or have a better spiritual life, I have 3 applications or 3 cell phone apps to recommend. The first one is called Calm. So there's an app called Calm. You can search on your app store on your cell phone. You just type Calm and it will show up this app. So there is a lot of the content in this app. So majorly, it helps you to engage in some kind of activities that improve your awareness. So it can guide you to meditate, to have a better sleep, to release the anxiety, to improve the relationships, and so forth. So you can go to the website called calm.com. So let's go to this website right now. So now you can see that's the website of this app. You can download from website or from your app store on cell phone. I think it's really well built app. It got the award for the best app probably several years ago. What brings you to? I just choose better. Yeah, ask you to sign in, to log in. Yeah, but you can definitely download this app and try it. And it's for some activities, for some components in this app are free. But for some other more advanced components are not free, but it depends on you. You can try some free content, but you can try some other stuff too. Okay, so this is Calm. And next one, this app is called a Fabulous. Yeah, it's called Fabulous. So this app helps you to develop some healthy habits in sleep, in diet, in concentration, and more stuff. And also you can download this app from the App Store. So let's try their website. It's called thefabulous.co. Yeah. So I ask you to download the app. It's very interesting. I tried this before in the morning, ask you to drink water. And ask you to, after that, ask you to eat breakfast, to ask you to exercise and so forth. Help you to build a good habit that improve your wellness. Very good app. The next one is called Kila. Kila is an app that help you to build the mental resilience, such as better attention, a strong ability to manage stress, a better sleep, and more. You can also try this app. It's called Kila.me. Oops. Let's see what happened to this app. Kila. Probably they terminated the service, maybe. Yeah, Kila. Interesting. So let's get rid of this application. Okay. So at least there are two apps that you can download from the App Store. And one is Calm, the other is called Fabulous. And they are really good apps that you can use to help you build the good habit. And also there is a actual credit opportunity for you to do. So you can find an app by yourself, and that app helps improve wellness. Some app like a Fabulous or Calm, but the app you find is not repeated, is not overlapped with those two apps. You download that app and experience it for at least 2 days. You must try it, and you can recommend this app to the class on Canvas. So please do not recommend the repeated app. If you see somebody has recommended some other kind of apps, but you also want to recommend it, please do not recommend it because it's overlapped, it's repeated. So in the recommendation, make sure you include 3 stuff. First stuff is a brief description of the app using your own words. So use your own words. Use your own words. Describe what the app is, and also provide the website of this app, and also upload a screenshot of the app. Yeah. So you can check on Canvas to find this extra credit opportunity and submit this assignment. The point is 1.5, and it's due on the last day of this semester, which is May 12th, 2021, at the last minute, 11:59 p.m. So you have a plenty of time to finish this extra credit opportunity. So let's see where it is. So if you go to assignments, you will find this assignments. So you need to go to discussion. And I have created a discussion topic. It's called an app recommendation. You can recommend this app by replying this post. You can write something in the reply and upload the screenshot. By this upload, you can upload the image. Okay, so this is the actual credit opportunity. So let's go to the next part. And the next part is about your physical body, and it's about the body image and the identity of the body. So oftentimes we need to express ourselves. And one important channel is the physical body. We can express ourselves through the body. Because body is a channel or is a vehicle that allow us to express our emotions, to express our true feelings. The assumption behind it is that the physical body and the spiritual mind are interconnected. I just mentioned that the mind can influence the physical body, and the physical body can influence the mind as well. So the body can be a channel that allow us to express our emotions, to express what we think and feel in our psychological mind. And like on the other hand, if we suppress our emotions, that action may lead to physical symptoms, such as headaches, such as digestive problems, such as some kind of other body dysfunctions. So expressing emotions through our body is good for our body, is good for overall for our wellness, but suppressing intentionally suppressing our emotions may also harm our physical body. Why is that? Because our body wants to tell how we are feeling. Actually, but our body is sometimes more sensitive to our mind, because we oftentimes control our mind too much, and our body wants to release some kind of signals to ourselves, to our awareness, so that we are aware, our body have some kind of symptoms or have some kind of signals, and so we are aware, how this is my feelings right now at this moment. So our body really wants to tell how we feel right now at the current moment. Sometimes we block the way to have the feelings. Sometimes we do not want those feelings, so we block the way between the feelings and our awareness. And oftentimes, or sometimes, we are not aware what we feel exactly. We do not know our true feelings at the current moment. So the physical body right now, at that moment, is another way, is an alternative way to express the feelings, to tell us the feeling that we have at that moment. So, and oftentimes body is more sensitive than mind. So the body is a really good channel for us to know what we feel right now. So the recommendation, the suggestion is that we can pay attention to the feelings from body. We can pay attention to the signals from our body. We can take a time. We can get relaxed to real feel what the body feels, to real have a feeling, real pay attention to what the body wants to say to us, so that we can know our true feeling at that moment. So how to like pay attention to the feelings from the body, how to experience the body. We can pay attention to some senses, such as touch, such as taste, such as smell, such as seeing and hearing. We can pay attention to what information we get from our body, through our body. And also we can engage in some physical activities, such as exercising, such as playing badminton, such as running. So we can feel what our body feels. And also we can engage in dancing. We can engage in other kind of physical activities. And especially touching is very important for us to have feelings, to reconnect the feelings with ourselves. And also touching among people. So touching others or being touched by other people are the ways to make emotional connections. 2 weeks ago, we talked about attachment theory. We talked about how children develop. So actually touching between the caregiver and the kid is a really important way for us to build the attachment. So the newborns or the children can get the signals, can get the information from the touch by the caregiver. So the really gentle touch is a way to show love, is a way to show security. So so touching is really important way to build attachment, is to make a really strong emotional connection. For adults, touching is also very, very important for us to build emotional connections, to build something like attachment. So you know that lovers touch each other. They touch a lot. Actually, that's a really important way to show love and to show the emotional connection, to show the intimacy. So can you feel what the body touch can bring to you? So just to have a reflection. So when you touch somebody else or somebody else touch you, what can you feel? What kind of feelings, what kind of consequences can be there? And the next topic that mentions to worthy of mentioning is the body image. So that's how we look at our body. So actually, how we look at our body is not really about our actual size or actual image or actual look of our body. It's more about our feeling, our perception of our physical body. It's more of psychological instead of physical. How our body really looks like may be different from our perceptions of our physical bodies. So actually, our perception of our body sometimes reflect the fact that we cannot totally accept ourselves. It's more psychological. We cannot accept ourselves. We cannot accept parts of ourselves. So our physical body, our body image, is one way that reflects that fact. So it's a channel. It's like a channel. It's like a window. It's like a vehicle, so that reflect we cannot accept ourselves. Oftentimes, when we cannot totally accept ourselves, we will have some kind of a thoughts like, if something happened, then I would be happy. People would like me, or I would be richer. Something like, if my body image is better, if my body image is perfect, I would be happy, or people would like me better, or I would be richer. So the other way is like, if my body image is not good enough. For example, one specific example is that if I weigh less than 100 pounds, I would be happy. If I weigh more than 100 pounds, I wouldn't be happy. People would not like me. I would be really poor. So these thoughts often fall into this pattern. If something happened, if there's a criteria that is met, or there's a criteria that isn't met, I will have all these consequences about happiness, about social relationships, about other aspects of life. So these patterns reflect the common characteristic is that there must be a condition about the body image. If that condition is not met, the life will be poor. The life will be pathetic, will be broken. Only if that condition is met, only if the body is perfect, we can have the normal life. So that's the characteristic of this kind of thought. Actually, that reflects the fact that we cannot totally accept ourselves. Ourselves are not perfect. Ourselves are like this. Our bodies are like this. If we cannot totally accept those facts, we will think that those aspects make us pathetic, make us unhappy, make our life broken. Yeah, so that's why sometimes we cannot accept our body image. It is not about the reality of our physical bodies, but it's about the perceptions of ourselves. Yeah, sometimes we cannot accept our body image because we think that we are inferior. Imperfect body image is just the excuse. It's just a way to persuade ourselves that, oh, we are inferior. We are not as good as other people. So where are these thoughts from? Why we cannot totally accept ourselves? So remember that we talk about injunctions. We talk about internalization of parents' teaching, or internalization of cultural messages, or something like that on last week. Yeah, we may have these thoughts from parents' attitudes, from parents' values, from parents' behaviors, from the ways that parents treat us, from the cultural beliefs, from the people's values in the society, or other kinds of values that we internalize when we are young, when we are children. And as a result, we cannot tell the difference between those values and our true feelings. In our true feelings, we feel good about ourselves, but those values that we take from other people will make us to think that we cannot totally accept every aspect of our physical body. There must be some aspect of our physical body that is not perfect, that cannot be allowed, that cannot be accepted by ourselves, by other people. So when you think about your own body image, so you can have a self-reflection. Where are these thoughts from? Do they really reflect your true feelings? If there are no other people, no your parents, no all other people in the world, do you think the same way about your physical body, about your body image? So think about that. And the question you can think about right now is, did you feel embarrassed about some physical characteristics of you? So think about that, and you can talk about this to someone you can find, or talk about to yourself. And you can have a reflection of why you feel embarrassed about that kind of a physical characteristic, not others. You can dig out the root of this kind of a thought. Okay, yeah, so another topic about body image is body weight. So actually body weight is part of the issue about body image. So maintaining a perfect body weight is also a value that we may internalize from other people, from the culture. This kind of value may come from cultural values from public media, especially nowadays. This value may majorly from a public media, because in public media they created a lot of image of really thin physical image that make us to think that, oh, we need to have that perfect body weight. Otherwise, we are not perfect. We are not accepted. And there are two extreme examples. One is anorexia nervosa. That's the psychological disorder. That's in the people who suffer from anorexia may have a habit of eating too less. They intentionally eat too less, so that they do not have enough body weight, and their health is severely damaged or threatened by this kind of eating habit. In other words, they're too skinny. There's not enough muscles. There's not enough protein. There's not enough nutrition in their body to support the body's functioning. And the other example is bulimia nervosa. So it's another extreme. People binge eating, people purge eating, people eat too much, far more than they need, and they spit out all the food they have eaten because they eat too much. They cannot, their stomach cannot hold that much food. So they spit out all the stuff, but they still eat too much. So that's another extreme. So these two psychological disorders are actually about body weight. They cannot accept their body weight. For anorexia nervosa, they may think that they're too heavy. In reality, is they're not too heavy. They are too skinny, but they still think they're too heavy. They want to have a perfect body weight. So their thoughts are too rigid. They cannot change their thought so that the intentionally eat too less. As a result, they have this kind of a psychological disorder. For bulimia nervosa, they may think that they're too skinny, or they eat too less. That's not safe to eat too less, so they eat too much. Actually, in reality, they have eaten too much. So yeah, so these two extreme examples are often related to internalization of some kind of standards that are not realistic at all. And also they have some kind of negative self-perceptions. They don't think they are good enough. They think that their body weights are too awful, or their body images are too awful. They are not good enough at all. They cannot be accepted. As a result, we get this psychological disorder. So this is about body weight. So we can see from this part that sometimes how we see our body, how we perceive our body image or body weight is not really about the real reality of physical body. It's more about how we see ourselves. Our physical body is just an alternative way, or it's one of the channels that reflect our mind, reflect our problematic attitude about ourselves, reflect the fact that we cannot totally accept ourselves. And here's a question for you. How much pressure to maintain an ideal body weight do you have? So you can think of, do you have any pressure to maintain an ideal body weight? Have you told by others you're overweight, or you're too skinny, or too overweighted, too strong, something like that? Or you think yourself are too strong or too skinny? So how much pressure is that? You can think about this question right now. Okay, so here's all the stuff about this week. These are the key points to know about for this week. First of all, we need to know what wellness is. And we need to know some kind of knowledge about sleep. We need to know the benefits of sleep, and then we need to know the consequences, negative consequences, if the sleep is not enough, or if the sleep is deprived. And also, next point is about exercise, the benefits of exercise. There's a lot of benefits if we exercise. And the next point is definition, or the basic understanding of spirituality. And also there is importance of touch. So touch is a way, one of the ways to express emotions, to build emotional connections among people. And also the last point is that we need to understand why people do not accept their body image and body weight. Okay, that's all the stuff about this week. Let's go to the journal assignment.
So in journal 4, the journal for chapter 4, you need to answer 4 questions in total. So the first question is about sleep, your sleep. So do you get adequate sleep? You can talk about that. What changes, if any, might you want to make? So if you are not satisfied with your sleep habit, so what kind of changes you want to make? You can talk about those. And the second question is about the fitness, physical fitness. So what kind of a physical activity do you enjoy the most? Is there anything you are interested in changing about your exercise regime? So you can talk about the physical activity that you enjoy the most. You can talk about that. And if you want to change the habit of exercise, what are they? You can talk about any interests in changing your exercise habit or exercise regime. So the second question is about exercise. And the third question is about habits, eating habits. So do you have any healthy eating habits? You can talk about that. What changes, if any, might you want to make? So you can talk about any changes that you want to make to have a better eating habit. The last question is about spirituality. So have you ever used spirituality to find purposes in life? So during your journey to find purpose in life, have you ever used spirituality to reach that purpose, to find purpose? So if yes, please describe the experience. If not, if you haven't used the spirituality to find purpose in life at all, so you can answer what gives you a purpose in life. So you can talk about that. So these are 4 questions, and it will be due on Sunday this week. And each question is 3 points. So the points are equally distributed. So that's it for chapter 4. So next you can watch the video for week chapter 5 about managing stress. And see you soon.